Horrible Harry and the Kickball Wedding by Susie Klein. So why don't you marry it? Harry Larry sits next to me in room 2B. He looks like any other second grader except for one thing. Harry loves to do horrible things. The week before Valentine's Day, I didn't think anything too horrible could happen. But it did. Harry and I were looking at his new library book, The Bug Hall of Fame. Song Lee was looking at it too. See that giant water bug? She said. When I live in Korea, I see one eat a fish. No fooling? Harry flashed his white teeth at Song Lee. He's had a crush on her ever since she brought in a potato beetle for show and tell in kindergarten. Hey, Doug, Harry said. Yeah, I replied. Look. Here's a picture of a stink bug. Neato, I said. Then he turned the page. And a kissing bug. Just as I made a face, Mary appeared. She had a pile of bright red valentines in her hand. Oh! Did you say bugs kiss? Ida joined the conversation. We know they do, Mary. Remember when we had our ant farm? Ants kiss every time they pass food. Harry lowered his bushy eyebrows. Ants are not bugs, they're insects. We're talking about bugs. Well, Mary snapped. They're aromantic, whatever they are. Suddenly, Sydney peered over her shoulder. If you love ants so much, why don't you marry one? Sydney! Mary shouted. That's dumb. You can't marry an ant. The rest of us tried not to laugh, but it was hard. Sydney's joke was so stupid, it was funny. When the bell rang, everyone returned to their seats. Except Mary. She was still passing out her valentines. Mary, the teacher said. It's too early to pass those out. Please collect them. Mary made a long face. Yes, Miss Mackle. Boys and girls, we will pass out Valentines on Thursday, when it's Valentine's Day. We will also have a party and a special Valentine's Day square dance. Everyone cheered. If you can wear something with a touch of red or white in it, that would be fun, the teacher added. I know what I'm wearing, Harry blurted out. My Black Widow sweatshirt. You're supposed to wear Valentine colors, Mary grumbled. I am. Harry replied. A Black Widow has a touch of red. Heh. Heh. The deadly red hourglass. Ew. Mary groaned. The Black Widow is poisonous, Ida said. Miss Mackle just smiled. Later, when we were standing in the lunch line, everyone was talking about what they would wear for Valentine's Day. But not Harry and me. We were too busy taking deep whiffs. It's hot dog day, Harry said. I love hot dogs. Sydney made his eyebrows go up and down. So, why don't you marry one? This time the joke was on Harry and he didn't like it. All through lunch he glared at Sydney. We knew that the hot dogs weren't the only thing steaming. Harry was, too. After lunch, our class went outside for recess. Some of us started up a kickball game. Harry raced for the pitcher's mound. I get TOB pitcher, he shouted. Dexter ran for the plate. I'm up first, he called. Then he pushed his hair back with his fingers. Ever since January when he transferred into our class, Dexter's been the king of kickball. I'm first base. Ida yelled. I'm second. I shouted. After everyone took a position, Harry said, What do you want, Dex? My slime ball, slow and smooth over the plate? Or my new specialty, the cyclone ball? Dexter rubbed his hands together. Gimme the cyclone, he said as he kicked the air twice with his big blue sneaker. When he stopped running his fingers through his hair, we knew he was ready for the big pitch. Harry wound up twice and delivered a fast, bouncy ball over the plate. Dexter ran forward and gave it a hard kick. Thonk! The ball soared high in the air to center field. It looked like a sure home run. Dexter thought so, too. He went into his Elvis routine, rocking and rolling around the bases. Beep-bop-da-boom. Beep-bop-da-boom. Shoogie-boogie-boogie shoogie slam. Bam! Boom! Then it happened. Deep in center field, all the way back by the big tree. She's got it! I screamed. It was Song Lee. She grabbed the ball right out of the air with both hands and pulled it close to her chest. Dexter's out! Yahoo! Harry yelled as he ran to center field and gave Song Lee a big hug. When recess was over and we lined up, Sydney patted Harry on the back. You really love kickball, don't you? Yeah. Harry said, pointing both thumbs up. So why don't you marry it, then? Harry poked Sydney in the chest. You like to laugh? Just wait till I tickle your funny bone. After school. As I watched Sydney duck behind the teacher, I shook my head. Poor Sydney. He was in for it now. Harry's revenge. Tickle attack. At 3:03 p.m., I sat on the school lawn reading a book while Harry hid behind the pricker bush waiting for Sydney. When Dexter strolled by, Harry peeked out at him. Hey, Dex! Dexter took a step back. You hiding from someone? No. Just looking for slugs under these rocks. That's cool. Hey, did I get robbed or what? Man, that should have been a homerillo. Yeah, Harry said. Right, Arillo. But Song Lee is an awesome player. Dexter nodded. Wait till I get my cousin's new soccer ball. You kick that sucker and it flies. All right, Harry said. Then Dexter spotted me on the lawn and waved. Harry and I waved back as we watched him rock and roll up the street singing, Shoogie Boogie Boo. Shoogie Boogie Boo. Boogie Shoogie. Shoogie Boogie Booagity Boo. Soon after Dexter left, Sydney came by. Harry was waiting for him. Aha! He shouted as he leaped up, wiggling his fingers. It's time for the tickle attack. Harry jumped on Sydney. Hey! What are you doing? Sydney said as they tumbled to the ground. Heh! 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 Harry cackled. Then he slipped his fingers inside Sydney's jacket and started tickling his armpits. Ha! 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 Sydney howled. Stop! Ha! Ha! Stop! A bunch of letters fell out of Sydney's pocket when he was screaming and shaking. I thought they were probably Valentine's. My name was on one of them. Are you gonna stop bugging me about marrying hot dogs or kickballs? Yes. Ha. Ha. I promise. As soon as Harry stopped, Sydney jumped to his feet. He looked like he was going to cry. You know what? My mom's really getting married Saturday. Harry's eyes were as big as mine. We watched Sydney pick up the letters and stuff them back in his pocket. Mom wants me to invite you guys, but I don't feel like it. I don't even want to go myself. Who's your mom marrying? I asked as I got up and closed my book. Some guy named George. He sells tombstones. Tombstones? I asked. That's interesting. Is he nice? Sydney shrugged. He's okay. I don't know why Mom has to marry him. I'm supposed to be in the wedding ceremony and go to some dumb rehearsal tonight at the church. But I don't want to. Then Sydney started crying and ran up the street. I shook my head. Well, now we know why Sydney has marriage on the brain. Yeah, Harry said. Too bad he isn't handing out those invitations. I love weddings. They're fun. They are? I've never been to one. You have never been to a wedding, Doug? Nope, I said, shaking my head. But I saw one on TV and one in a movie. That's not the same thing as being there. We've got to do something about this. When Harry spotted Song Lee walk ing up the street, he suddenly snapped his fingers. That's it! And doing it on Valentine's Day would be perfect. Doing what? You'll see, Doug. Then he flashed